I have clearly awakened an SSS level talent, Sharpshooter God, but I didn't choose the archer class with 100% compatibility. Instead, I chose the completely unrelated class of Shadow Assassin. Everyone thought I was out of my mind, but only I know that this game, Apocalypse, represents the will of the gods. Later in the game, when the gods invade the other world, if I had chosen the archer class at most, I could have matched the gods 1-for-1. But the Shadow Assassin paired with the Sharpshooter talent can achieve an effect greater than 1+1. As the countdown ended, I re-entered Apocalypse. However, I didn't rush to fight monsters and level up right away. Instead, I went to the hunter's house in the novice village. Because in my previous life, a bored player accidentally triggered a hidden quest by talking to the hunter and received a unique item in the entire server. He used this item to become one of the top 10 experts. Now that I know, of course, I want to get it. At this moment, there were many smart players trying to trigger the quest at the hunter's house, but many had already given up. They tried various methods, even being killed by the hunter several times, but still couldn't trigger the quest. I walked against the crowd to the hunter and stated my intention directly. I want to buy the exotic beast skull. The hunter, who was drinking water, shuddered, his sharp eyes fixed on me as he asked grimly, "Where did you hear about this?" If my answer doesn't satisfy him, I'm sure I won't escape an arrow. But I wasn't worried at all. We can revive. Even if you kill me now, it won't matter. Upon hearing this, the hunter's face showed some sarcasm. I don't want to sell it to you, so what can you do? I can't do anything to you. But don't you want to kill the Wolf King and get revenge? I'll help you kill the Wolf King. You give me the exotic beast skull. I know the hunter's leg was crippled because of an attack by the Wolf King, though I didn't quite understand how he got the exotic beast skull. How the hunter was taken down by the novice village's Wolf King, but that doesn't matter, as long as I can trigger the quest. And my words obviously hit the hunter's sore spot. However, he looked me over a few times and said disdainfully, "With your strength, you want to kill the Wolf King?" I calmly replied, "How I kill the Wolf King is none of your concern. Within 3 days, I'll bring you the Wolf King's head. But as an exchange, you must give me the exotic beast skull now." My words made the hunter ponder. He had obtained the exotic beast skull through great peril, hoping to rise to a new level with it, but ended up being ambushed by the Wolf King, losing a leg and becoming completely crippled. Holding on to the exotic beast skull was now pointless. Better to release his pent-up anger. I can give you the exotic beast skull, but don't forget your promise. Accepted the time-limited quest to hunt the Wolf King. Quest description: the Wolf King ambushed the hunter, leaving him disabled. Bring back the Wolf King's head for a generous reward. Quest reward: 3,000 experience points, 30 silver coins, 30 points hunter's favor. Quest countdown: 3 days. Please note, you have pre-received the quest rewards. If you fail to complete the quest on time, the rewards will be reclaimed and you will lose 5 points in all attributes as a penalty. The hunter took out a wooden box from under the bed, solemnly handing it over to me. You have obtained the special item, Egg Skull. Exotic Beast Skull, unique item. Effect 1, Exotic Beast Blessing. Gain an additional 5 free attribute points each level up. Effect 2, Hunting Moment. Every 100 monsters or 1 boss killed, gain 1 evolution point. Can only be used on equipment or skills. The points needed to evolve the same target will increase. Current evolution points. The pre-received quest rewards are now locked, cannot be traded, destroyed, or discarded until the quest is completed, as expected of a unique item. These attributes are indeed awesome. I left the hunter's hut without looking back, and my act of taking the wooden box from the hunter made many players gape in shock. This guy must be cheating. Hand over your quest, old dang. I didn't want to waste time arguing with these people, so I activated Shadow Stealth. Walking in the shadows, I began to study my talents and skills. Sharpshooter God Talent. Effect 1. All long-range attacks are guaranteed hits and deal true damage. Effect 2. For every meter of distance from the target, damage increases by 10%. Fortunately, the Shadow Assassin can use energy to create shadow-throwing knives. This, combined with the Hidden Strike, allows for high burst damage from extreme distances. And as long as stealth isn't broken, the stealth duration is permanent. This perfectly matches my initial plan. The only drawback is that the cooldown for Shadow Stealth is 20 seconds. Looks like I need to shorten the cooldown time first. At this moment, I noticed that the Shadow Stealth cooldown was already up. You know, for normal assassins, the cooldown only starts after breaking stealth. But I can wait for the skill cooldown while still in stealth. Activate Hidden Strike, then immediately go back into stealth. Maximum safety guaranteed. Next, I focused on the exotic beast skull and evolve Shadow Stealth directly from ordinary to Black Iron. Black Iron level Shadow Stealth V. Enter stealth mode. Hidden Strike deals additional damage equal to 120% of attack power plus 50. Consumes 5 mana. Cooldown time 18 seconds. Just evolving Shadow Stealth from ordinary to Black Iron significantly boosted all its attributes. I looked at the slightly dim exotic beast skull in my hand, feeling immense joy. With stealth, I arrived at the Boar Plains. The monsters here start at level 5, so basically no players come here now. I looked at the boar in the distance and threw a shadow knife. I could clearly feel the moment I made my move. An invisible force corrected my posture, making my throw faster and more accurate. It was the hidden effect of the Sharpshooter God Talent. It seems that perhaps 30 meters isn't my limit. I initially set 30 meters based on my past life experience. After all, a level 1 player's attributes are not high. There's a limit to what can be achieved. However, it seems that the Sharpshooter God effect is not just as described. There are other functions as well. While I was contemplating this, the shadow knife had already crossed the 30-meter distance, accurately hitting the boar in the abdomen. 329. A bit unfortunate. No critical hit. Maybe next time I can aim for vital spots like the eyes. With the sharpshooter's correction, there's a high chance of hitting. The boar suddenly attacked was enraged, quickly locked onto me, lowered its head, ready to charge. But the next second, the boar lost its target, becoming confused. In the distant shadows, I paused, waiting for the skill to cool down. 10 seconds later, the shadow knife cooldown completed. I threw another knife. This time I deliberately aimed at the boar's eye. 494. Weak point attack. The boar, which was chewing grass to heal, fell dead without a sound. Killed a level 5 boar. Gained 50 experience points for killing for levels above. The Sharpshooter God Talent corrects actions, achieving pinpoint accuracy. Now, I may not be a top knife thrower, but at least I'm an expert. With this discovery, I immediately revised my leveling plan. It's no exaggeration to say I think I can hit a boar accurately from 100 meters away. Once Shadow Stealth's cooldown completed, I entered stealth mode. This time, I stood 40 meters away. Although I was confident in hitting a boar from 100 meters, it wasn't necessary. If it drops loot, I'd still have to run over to pick it up. 40 meters distance plus. A weak point attack is enough to kill a level 5 boar instantly. With a flick of the wrist, the black shadow knife flew out silently. The boar, head down, eating grass, unaware that the shadow of death was upon it. 657. The boar's health bar emptied instantly. As expected. Not even a single boar hair dropped. I remained calm about it. I've been grinding in Apocalypse for 10 years. I know the nature of this game well. It's incredibly difficult with very low drop rates, but I didn't expect these small monsters to drop good items. To get real gear, you have to farm bosses. Next, I focused on grinding. I became a boar slayer, moving stealthily through the weeds. Each strike was an instant kill. You have reached level 2. You have gained 5 free attribute points. The power of shadows is gathering. You have gained an additional 5 free attribute points. Beast Blessing activated. You have gained an additional 5 free attribute points. A series of notifications made me pause. Even among hidden classes, there are distinctions. With the attribute points from the exotic beast skull, I gain a total of 20 attribute points per level, double that of ordinary players. I decided to allocate them in a 2-to-1 ratio between agility and strength. Agility is the main attribute for an assassin. Without better gear, I need to increase strength for attack power. This time, I set my sights on a level 7 boar in the distance. I gathered a shadow blade in my hand and threw it. 782. The damage increased significantly, but against the boar with much higher health, it couldn't be killed in one hit. The boar, enraged by the attack, let out a furious roar, lowered its head, ready to charge. I frowned slightly and activated Shadow Stealth. My figure vanished from the spot. By the time the boar reached my previous position, I was already several meters away. Once the shadow knife cooldown finished, the wounded boar died instantly. Killed a level 7 boar. Gained 105 experience points. I could clearly see the experience bar move forward a bit, but I wasn't satisfied with this result. Compared to using two blades to kill a level 7 boar, I preferred one-shotting level 5 boars. The base experience plus the additional bonus made the overall efficiency higher. Should I return to the village to buy a bow and arrow set? After careful calculation, I found that this method was not very meaningful. With my sharpshooter god talent, even if I used a bow, the damage would be reduced. Still, I could deal considerable damage, but without being able to one-shot. I would have to rely on kiting with movement. It's not that I can't, but my level is too low, making it easy to attract nearby boars. With insufficient agility, regular players can't outrun boars with charge skills. Instead of running around, it's better to stay at a distance. To test my hypothesis, I decisively aimed at a boar 80 meters away. At this distance, the boar was just a small dot, but I could see it clearly. And I felt in my heart that I would definitely hit it if I made a move. The black knife flew out straight. Under my gaze, the blade gradually dissipated. Finally, at 50 meters, it turned back into shadow energy and dispersed. I frowned. It seems my own attributes are still insufficient. I turned my gaze to a level 6 boar nearby. 900 health points. Perfect, you will do. Weak point attack 976. The level 6 boar, leisurely eating grass, dropped dead on the spot. The experience points were acceptable, still needing about a dozen boars to level up. This time, I allocated all free attribute points to agility. The damage boost from increasing strength was limited. In my current damage distribution, the hidden strike from Shadow Stealth was the majority, with the fixed damage from the hidden strike being the most critical. So I decided to put all points into agility. As I continued to one-shot boars, a team was heading towards the Boar Plains. Leader Longteng. Can we handle boars at our level? They're all at least level 5. Are you questioning my decisions? Number Absolutely not. Rest assured, the leader's hidden class is Heavy Armor Warrior. His defense is more than triple that of regular players. Zhao is a Divine Fire Priest. She can add holy damage to our attacks, which is enough to break the Boar's defenses. That makes sense. I was overthinking. I can only say that Apocalypse is too popular. All the low-level areas are crowded with players. You can't even grab a rabbit. They get killed within 2 seconds of spawning. Cut down instantly. If we stayed in the low-level areas, we'd level up slower. Might as well try here. Suddenly, a player with a longbow in the team pointed at a boar's corpse in the distance and exclaimed, "Someone got here before us." The heavy armor warrior looked around in confusion. How come we don't see any other teams? It takes at least a small squad to kill boars. Maybe they are hidden classes like us. Apocalypse is indeed full of hidden talents. No sign of anyone. Could they have been sent to the respawn point by the boars? Before the words were out of his mouth, he saw a level 6 boar in the distance, drop dead with a thud. Not only that, but a light orb dropped next to it. From the icon, it looks like equipment dropped. The archer in the team got excited. That boar committed suicide. Saying this, he prepared to pick up the equipment, but before he could take a step, the leader stopped him. Someone's there. The archer looked up. A figure slowly appeared. After glancing at them from a distance, it vanished again. The short interval made the archer wonder if he had seen it right. Looking back at his teammates, they all had puzzled expressions. It seemed like there was someone, but also seemed like there wasn't. The heavy armor warrior looked at the team's assassin. Is this an assassin stealth skill? The assassin nodded, then shook his head, explained that the skill seemed like stealth. But the problem was, you can't use stealth immediately after breaking it. You have to wait for the cooldown. The heavy armor warrior asked if it could be strong stealth. The assassin shook his head vigorously. Impossible. In any game, strong stealth is a high-level skill. No way a player of this level could learn it. The warrior pondered, then shouted towards where the figure disappeared. "I am Longteng Tianxia. I wish to make friends with you." By now, Longteng Tianxia had realized the other must be a hidden assassin class. This made Longteng Tianxia's thoughts active. He was determined to build the #1 guild in Apocalypse. Such experts were not to be missed. In my stealth state, I was also a bit surprised. It was him. In my past life, I had many dealings with Longteng Tianxia because we were both heavy armor warriors. We competed fiercely for the top spot on the warrior leaderboard. Ultimately, I claimed the top spot thanks to a more suitable talent. Meeting Longteng Tianxia now, I felt a mix of emotions about the changes in circumstances. Naturally, I wouldn't agree to his recruitment, but Longteng Tianxia was someone worth befriending. With this in mind, I left stealth mode. "So it's Longteng Tianxia. I've long admired your name. Player Longteng Tianxia has requested to add you as a friend." I accepted the request immediately. Seeing my name added to his friend list, Longteng Tianxia cupped his hands and said, "So it's you, Night Wanderer. I've heard a lot about you." Although he didn't recall any expert named Night Wanderer, it didn't stop him from recognizing my potential. "Brother Night Wanderer, would you like to join our team to level up together?" In Longteng Tianxia's mind, Night Wanderer's talent must be high. To one-shot boars likely required a powerful talent, but such high damage couldn't be continuous. So during the intervals when Night Wanderer's damage was on cooldown, his team could help with leveling. The team members, being old friends, immediately understood the leader's intent. "Brother Night Wanderer, join us, the efficiency is guaranteed." I politely declined, thanking them for their kindness, but said I was used to being a lone wolf. Longteng Tianxia seemed a bit disappointed. The archer in the team feeling a bit disgruntled, muttered, acting so aloof, careful not to get gored by boars. Longteng Tianxia frowned. Go apologize to brother Night Wanderer. I waved it off. No need for that, Leader Longteng. I'll go level up now, I said, and then activated stealth again. Picked up the previously dropped equipment and put it in my bag. Glanced at the attributes. Boar hide armor, ordinary level. Plus to constitution, plus 20 defense. Required level 6 to equip. I can't wear it for now, so I'll just keep it for later. Meanwhile, in Longteng Tianxia's team, the archer typed in the team chat to complain. This Night Wanderer is too pretentious. He could one-shot a level 6 boar just now. He must have used a talent or some item. If it's a talent, such high burst talents must have a long cooldown. If it's an item, how many more times can he use it? The boss kindly invited him to join the team for experience, and he didn't appreciate it. Although the others didn't say anything, they had similar thoughts. Even Longteng Tianxia himself felt a bit uncomfortable. He had played so many games. His reputation was well known. His invitation was rejected. It was a bit embarrassing. Longteng Tianxia didn't show his emotions. He just kept watching, waiting for my next move. In Longteng Tianxia's mind, to replicate that high burst damage, it should take at least half an hour to cool down. But before this thought passed, he saw another level 6 boar drop dead in the distance. At the same time, my figure appeared far away. So soon after the last attack, Longteng Tianxia's eyebrow twitched. From then until now, it had been at most half a minute. Night Wanderer could burst and one-shot a monster again. He must have an S-level talent, but the next second, Longteng Tianxia noticed something odd. Isn't Night Wanderer's position a bit too far? Normally, an assassin would attack from behind the monster. The Divine Fire Priest in the team also noticed and couldn't help but say, Night Wanderer can kill monsters from such a distance. Could he be an archer? Impossible. The archer beside him said firmly. What kind of archer can one-shot monsters of a higher level? And I checked. The boar that was one-shot didn't have any arrow wounds. A new mystery appeared before Longteng's team. How did he one-shot a monster from 50 meters away? Is he an assassin or a sniper? As Longteng Tianxia and his team pondered this endlessly, another carefree boar fell dead. The archer, closely, couldn't help but curse. Damn, he's cheating. Longteng knew some insider. It was said that Apocalypse was developed by a coalition of countries worldwide. There shouldn't be any cheats. But the scene before him made him doubt. Longteng Tianxia gripped his shield tightly and said in a deep voice, "Watch out, a monster is coming." While they were chatting, a boar lowered its head and charged. All right. Longteng Tianxia was knocked back 3 steps. His health bar was almost empty. Luckily, the priest in the team reacted quickly. A precast healing spell landed immediately, restoring Longteng Tianxia's health to full. Then she added a divine fire mark to the teammates. Her actions were smooth and efficient. The assassin and archer in the team stopped chatting. They drew their weapons and began attacking. The fixed damage from the divine fire mark kept appearing, but it seemed insignificant against the boar's high health bar. After a chaotic battle, Longteng's team finally killed a level 5 boar and claimed victory. We are still pretty strong, Longteng Tianxia encouraged, but there was little response. The teammates didn't feel like talking. Longteng Tianxia felt a bit angry. Such disrespect. The priestess pointed to the distance. Boss, I suspect someone is cheating. Longteng Tianxia looked back. While they struggled to kill a level 5 boar together, I had one-shotted 3 more boars. All level 6. Really? Longteng Tianxia cursed. I officially report. There's a cheater here. Everyone restore your state. Especially Zhao, refill your mana. In his mind, Longteng Tianxia added, and adjust your mindset. Anyone would feel frustrated seeing their whole team struggling to kill monsters, while someone else can do it with a casual hit. Seeing the team morale plummeting, Longteng Tianxia quickly said, "Don't be discouraged," ignoring Night Wanderer. We are still strong. At this point in time, can other players even farm level 5 boars? They can't do it. This statement received unanimous agreement. That's right. They are powerful players. As long as they don't compare themselves to Night Wanderer, the assassin in the team added. I bet Night Wanderer's talent is related to long-range attacks. In other words, his melee abilities must be weak. The assassin seemed to find new purpose in life, proudly saying, "My talent can increase melee damage by 20%. Its potential is limitless. Definitely not inferior to Night Wanderers. So I think I'm on par with Night Wanderer." The archer quickly found his own strengths too, repeatedly saying Night Wanderer's long-range abilities are probably just his class skills. He definitely can't shoot arrows well. When it comes to archery, I'm better than Night Wanderer. The assassin and archer exchanged smiles, regaining their confidence. Longteng Tianxia twitched his eye. Can you have some ambition? But on second thought, Longteng Tianxia also felt more confident. Of course, I wasn't aware of their mental journey. After several attempts, I had become proficient at 50 meters distance. Once my attributes improve, I can increase the distance further. With a casual throw, I one-shot a distant boar and leveled up to 3. Allocating 15 free attribute points to agility, my agility reached an impressive 37 points. A regular assassin player would need to be level 6 or 7 to reach such high agility. Getting the exotic beast skull first was indeed a wise choice. I thought happily, just 60 more boars to gain 1 evolution point. But it wouldn't be enough to evolve Shadow Stealth again, unless I encounter a boss. How did I forget that? My eyes lit up. In Apocalypse, there's a rule that if a player massively repeats killing a certain type of monster, it will draw out the corresponding boss. Sure enough, after the player's frenzied slaughter, the rabbit boss should be activated soon. As I pondered, I caught a glimpse of Longteng Tianxia's team, leaving a boar with only a third of its health, and running back to the novice village without looking back. I knew the boss had spawned. Without hesitation, I followed them towards the novice village. At this moment, my 37 agility points showed their effect, easily overtaking Longteng's team. Outside the novice village, countless players were rushing forward excitedly. Move aside. This boss is mine. You say it's yours, so it's yours? Did you write your name on it? This area is reserved by the Rakshasa Hall. If you don't want to die, get lost. What kind of guild is that? Trying to reserve the area? Take this, you fool! Outside the novice village, a particularly huge rabbit was hopping around, chomping down on players, crunchy and crisp. But this didn't dampen the players' enthusiasm. This was the first boss outside the novice village. It would definitely drop good items. But soon, players noticed something was wrong. They couldn't deal any damage. Upon closer inspection, the boss had a defense of 250 points. The rabbit boss shook itself, completely unharmed, continuing to chase players like they were carrots. However, there were hidden classes among the players, using their class advantages to deal some damage, accumulating bit by bit. They managed to take down a layer of the rabbit boss's health. Even players who couldn't break the boss's defense had no intention of retreating. There's a rule in Apocalypse. in a wild boss fight. If no player or team deals more than 50% of the decisive damage, the ownership of the loot will be randomly selected among all participating players. In other words, everyone had a chance to get rare gear. Plus, this was right outside the novice village. Respawning and running back was easy, making players even more reckless. Seeing the boss's health drop by 5%, several guild leaders became anxious. They were determined to get the first kill of the server. But without accumulating enough damage, it was all for nothing. While everyone was plotting, a huge damage number appeared above the rabbit boss's head. 976. Weak point attack. The Sharpshooter God talent lives up to its SSS level. Even predictive attacks can be corrected. I had aimed at the rabbit boss's eye through the knife. But I didn't have high hopes. After all, this rabbit jumped faster than ordinary ones. Its head was moving so fast it almost left after images. I thought hitting it would be difficult, let alone a weak point attack. But I still managed to hit it, proving the power of the Sharpshooter God talent once again. After landing the Shadow Knife, I immediately went into Shadow Stealth, while glancing at the boss's status. Giant Rabbit Black Iron level. Level 5, 46,522 HP. 350 attack, 250 defense. Skill Bounce. Description: born with the vengeful fury of the rabbit clan, possessing strength beyond ordinary rabbits. This rabbit boss had been spawned for a few minutes, and only lost 5% of its health despite being surrounded by hundreds of players. Now, with one throw of my knife, I dealt nearly 1,000 damage. At this rate, I could surpass the total damage of other players in a minute, but I didn't let my guard down, because more players were coming back, including elite players like Longteng's team. According to Apocalypse's rules, if I can't deal more than half of the decisive damage, I can't guarantee the loot will be mine. I can deal nearly 3,000 damage per minute. To deal more than half of the decisive damage would take 8 minutes. But with more players arriving, 8 minutes has too many variables. However, this was the first boss of the novice village. Dealing high damage would definitely make me a target. If I reveal myself, I'll be surrounded and attacked. For a moment, I felt conflicted. Could I miss this chance? As I pondered silently, other players started to panic. What's going on? In a situation where everyone had a chance at the loot, why did such an exaggerated damage number appear out of nowhere? Let's find that guy first. Otherwise, the boss loot will have nothing to do with us. Some players began wildly throwing skills at my previous location, trying to kill me while I was in stealth. I was relieved in the shadows. Thankfully, I could seamlessly stay in stealth. Otherwise, these crazy players would have killed me. At the same time, Longteng's team saw what had happened. They exchanged glances. At this stage, who else could deal nearly 1,000 damage? Besides Night Wanderer? Longteng Tianxia sighed. No wonder he didn't join our team. Turns out we would have held him back. The archer in the team raised a crucial question. Boss, Night Wanderer has made his move. Are we still going for this boss? The other teammates immediately understood. At this stage, we can't start a full raid. We can only form a 6-man party at most. Even with Xiao, we can't deal more than half of the decisive damage. It's unfortunate the novice village uses random distribution. Otherwise, if our Longteng dynasty gathered here, we could monopolize this boss. If it weren't for Night Wanderer, we'd all be competing for a chance. The problem lies with Night Wanderer. I've observed His attack frequency is about every 20 seconds. In at most 8 minutes, he could deal enough decisive damage. In 8 minutes! Even if all the players from the novice village came, their combined damage might not surpass Night Wanderer's. Longteng Tianxia was stunned. His excitement about the boss gradually faded, replaced by weighing the pros and cons, while Longteng Tianxia pondered. I made another move. 976. High damage floated up. The rabbit boss's health bar visibly dropped. The surrounding players were wide-eyed. They tried to find the suspicious target, but they failed. I went back into stealth immediately after attacking, looking for another opportunity. My repeated attacks made Longteng Tianxia resolute. He called his subordinates and gave a few instructions, then led his men away from the rabbit boss. Other guilds were puzzled by this. What's going on? The Longteng dynasty is giving up on the boss? This is a prime opportunity to make a name for themselves. This isn't like Longteng Tianxia's usual style. Just as a few guild leaders were about to ask, they heard Longteng Tianxia loudly say, "Night Wanderer, our Longteng dynasty is giving up this boss." Night Wanderer. The name made the guild leaders pause. They hadn't heard of such an expert before. Other players, hearing Longteng Tianxia's words, became excited. Alright. So the name is Night Wanderer. You better watch out, kid. I saw someone attack and disappear earlier. Could that be the so-called Night Wanderer? If he can stealth, he must be an assassin. I'm a hidden class assassin. Even with stealth, I have to wait for the cooldown after breaking it. How can Night Wanderer stealth seamlessly? No need to think much. He must be cheating. Longteng Tianxia's words made me smile. Indeed, he's still the same Longteng Tianxia I remember. As for him revealing my name, I didn't mind. Because once I got the first kill on the boss, I wouldn't hide my ID anyway. As I pondered, I threw another shadow knife. 976. The rabbit boss's health dropped a bit more. The players who had been camping at my last attack spot saw I appeared further away, feeling their efforts were in vain, but some guilds didn't want to give up. A man with the ID Rakshasa blade scoffed. Just because he can stealth, he doesn't know his own strength. Get him out of there. Whoosh! An arrow flew into the air, exploding into a bright light. I immediately recognized this skill. The archer's signature skill, Flare. A nemesis for assassin classes.